Baby, Bill Gates thinks your womb is his next software update. I need you to sit down because this level of cringe and colonial caucasity I'm about to break down is going to make you sick. No, Bill Gates, the computer guy, let's be clear, not a doctor, not an OBGYN, is about to launch a new world's first contraceptive patch for African women. You just press it on your skin and you're good for 6 months. How convenient. How innovative. How suspicious is hell? And of course, there's an 8-year IUD too. And they're starting in Kenya and Nigeria because where else would you test out your new world first reproductive technology? Now, on the surface, they're selling this as empowerment. Melinda Gates is out here talking about putting the power in the hands of young girls and women. Okay, we love to see that, but baby, let's talk about the caucasity because my spirit is not sitting right with the tech billionaire from Seattle deciding what's best for the wombs of millions of African women. First of all, I have to ask again, is Bill Gates a doctor? Is he an OBGYN? Did he go to medical school for this? No. So why is he the global authority for African fertility? The whole concept is cringe. Second, do we just ignore history? The West has a long, disgusting track record of using healthcare as a cover to experiment on Black and brown bodies. So when they show up with a brand new gadget and want to try it on us first, we have every right to be skeptical. The article even admits critics are calling this population control and saying Africa is being used as a testing ground. But here's the part that should make you want to flip a table. While Bill is trying to put a patch on African fertility, his billionaire buddies like Elon Musk are crying on Twitter about not having enough babies to colonize Mars. Let me say that again. They are terrified about their declining populations in their countries. But they are actively funding programs to limit the number of Black babies in Africa. Make it make sense. They look at Africa's young growing population, which is Africa's greatest strategic advantage for the future, and they don't see it as power. They see it as a threat that needs to be managed with a patch and IUD. And African leaders, the betrayal is crazy. And this is where it gets crazy for me. Are African leaders really this stupid? Are they this desperate for a check from a billionaire that they'll sign up their women to be guinea pigs for their latest project? When do we decide that the wombs of African women were the new frontier for big tech to beta test their products? So here's a real question I have for all of us, and I want you to really think about this. When a tech billionaire who's not a doctor offers to save African women with a new technology being tested in Africa first, while his friends panic about their own declining populations, is that charity or is that a strategic move to neutralize Africa's greatest advantage? Africa's the now and the future. Make sure you join the African Mineral Rich Masterclass and tap into the truth. Let's take back the crown and tell these billionaires to go to Europe with their patches.
Hi guys, welcome to yet another video. It's Ndagre here. Thanks for clicking on today's video. This is quite some interesting news that I had to share with you guys because I find it really amazing. Africa is starting to have these kind of leaders that stand on their ground, especially the fact that this person is a woman. So in case you didn't know, the president of Namibia, she's a woman, yeah, amazing, refused to take in the family planning methods that Bill Gates or, the Western nations are trying to enforce on African women, which I find really crazy to me because, as we all know, I'm hearing a lot of people say like the percentage of, the average percentage of PAM people in, the world is like 6%, which I'm not quite sure about. But why do they have to meddle into our business, especially when it comes to fertility? You know why? They are scared to seeing people that look like me on this planet, especially being more than them because they are used to controlling us in every sector. So now that they are seeing that in their world, things are declining. They have like the lowest birth rates right now. And that's why they're actually forcing children to literally start having kids. I'm hearing Trump is also planning on reducing the age of consent of children to 14. which I find quite ridiculous. But these are the same people that are coming to us and telling us like, hey, the world is too populated. Like, we need to cut on the population for global warming and issues like that. Like, we need to cut it down. Like, African people need to cut it down. People of color need to cut it down when it comes to children. Why are you not focused on your own population? Why are you focused on our population? It just shows they do not want to see people that look like us, and that's why they are so much into eugenics. Because they want to say, oh, specific kinds of people need to be more than the rest. And guess who do they want to be less on this planet? The ones they've really been sacrificing every single day, but we are still thriving, and they cannot get the hang of it. So me saying that Namibia is standing on ground and the president is like, hey, we are not guinea pigs. African women are not guinea pigs for you to come and test your stuff onto them before you give it to your people. Like, we are no longer in those times where you do whatever you want to us and we shut up. Guys, listen to what is going on. Come back. Let me know your thoughts on it.
Well, this we don't see every day, an African leader that's actually protecting its people and its nation. Bill Gates recently approached Namibia and they're like, hey, remember that we are trying to reduce the number of people on Earth? How about that we use your people as guinea pigs for this hormonal testing thing that they want to do? The Namibian president said, nah, no thanks. I only have 3 million people. How about you take that and use it in the USA? You have over 300 million people. I'm sure you'll get better results there because there's more of you there. Which is true. But one thing that I think Africans don't realize or notice is how important it is that you have humans, human resource. Because recently on my FYP, I've been seeing ladies posting about the girls are winning because we're not giving birth and the fertility rates are going down. It's nothing to pride ourselves in. One thing that we as Africa threaten the rest of the world with is the fact that we have the highest youth numbers in the world. The youth is the future, and that's a fact. Now, if we are being convinced or our leaders take up these deals, do you understand how that would affect us as a continent in the future? Well done to the president of Namibia. I'm actually proud of her. Like the things she's doing lately, I like how she's moving. I like it. Bill Gates, take it home. Go back with this nonsense to the US. We're good over here.
At this point, they want Namibia to beg. You don't need me to tell you that uranium has always been that metal that gives you geopolitical bragging points. Because not only is uranium used primarily as fuel for nuclear power plants to generate electricity, it's also used in research reactors for cancer treatment and diagnostic, and if you enrich it, let's stop right there. So you see how important it is to regulate uranium, right? Which is why in 1974, they created this international organization called NSG, which stands for Nuclear Suppliers Group, that focuses on control, coordinate, and export nuclear-related materials, technology, and equipment. Now here's the issue. NSG has 48 members. We should expect if you are one of the world's top uranium suppliers, one would think not only would you have a seat at the table, but probably a corner office too, right? Since the materials are coming out of your backyard, you should at least have a say on how it's being regulated and distributed globally. So look at this. Out of 195 countries, Namibia ranks 3rd globally for top uranium production, and I believe Nigeria comes in hot at 6 or 7, yet neither of them are on the NSG committee. Yet you have countries that had no business being on that committee, like Estonia. What are you doing in here, right? Cyprus, really? Didn't Greece claim bankruptcy? Let me freestyle. 85% of the countries on this list don't even have uranium. This isn't an oversight. This is a deliberate exclusion to keep African uranium suppliers from gaining geopolitical power. Now, in Nigeria's case, we already know they're dealing with that dynamic because I believe they supply mainly to France and they're taking care of that, and I covered that in another video. Whereas Namibia, I see they're still opting for a diplomatic route. Now, there is going to be an IAEA General Conference in Vienna this September, and Namibian delegation will be heading to Vienna to lobby there. And I just want to point out, this isn't Namibia's first rodeo. In 2016, they did apply, yet somehow the application was iced. Anyways, that was back then. This is now. They got a female president, and I believe everybody's watching this time.
As you've seen in the video, that is what is happening, and I'm so happy, literally so happy. It's the same thing when it comes to GMOs, how especially the US is trying to push GMOs into African nations. Like, they want us to accept their seeds to be the ones that we grow and still be under them. Because I've had people say with the GMOs, when you put them into the ground, you cannot put an organic plant again on that land. Like, we still have to go back to them and ask for seeds and plead for seeds and, act like we still need their mercy, which I also find quite ridiculous that some African countries have allowed the GMOs in Africa, and neglecting our ways of farming. Like, our ancestors, our fathers, our mothers, like the farmers, have been using the traditional African way, and it's been working. Like, it's been working, and that's why I would say we are healthy, because you can literally go to the market and buy something fresh, eat it. If you don't eat it, it's like spoiled, and you're able to go and get something else,
Guys, we are not safe anymore. The reason why I'm sharing this information here, it is not all about spirituality every time. Most times you educate people so that they will stay alive to enjoy their spirituality. Let me tell you something. I want you to say no to GMO. And if you have a platform where you can share this video to, or you can as well recreate this video or make research about it and, post it on your page, please do, because it's important. Say no to GMO. GMO, some of you don't know what is called GMO, because most times you go to the market, you buy those cucumber, you buy those tomatoes, you buy guava, you buy a lot of, those fruits, those organically made food. You think maybe you're eating it organically, not knowing that it was made from GMO. GMO simply means genetically modified organism. That's what it means. It means that most corns you go to the market to buy thinking they are organic, as in organically made, they are not. It means they are just modified crops. They are using injections on them. Yes, chemicals. And when you browse about this, where you can, as in those, what is it called, chemicals to produce those modified foods, you find out that they are from deadly, as in, I don't know the right language to use for this very particular substance they use in producing these modified crops. Please, if you have a platform where you educate people about GMO is literally causing cancer. You see a child of 10 years suffering from cancer, a girl of 20 years suffering from cancer. You would be wondering what is happening, why this one is now generating cancer at tender age, not knowing that you are preventing yourself from getting ill, and you're ill from things you eat, thinking they are organically made. So no to GMO. According to the one white man that was saying that they need to buy 3 billion Africans, that the only way they can do it, they can make that happen, is through GMO. And I say the funny part of it is that African farmers are actually taking bribe to accept this particular GMO in their farming system. Yes. So be careful when you buy those, what is it called? Those, like guava, tomatoes, cucumber, all these, crops that needed to have enough seed inside, that there's no seed inside of it. Be very careful. Do not eat it. That is genetically modified crop you're eating. Be very careful.
It's really frustrating that a country that has people sharing videos where their bread literally is like rubber, it doesn't get spoiled in a couple of days. People are sharing how they buy fruits and they are spoiled inside, or they're like, weird from the inside. Those are the same people that want to give us GMOs, whatever, genetically modified seeds or plants or crops. Like, why would we accept such a thing? And if there's African leaders that are really accepting this, Kenya did, these leaders are just a problem to African people, because you can't tell me you're receiving seeds from people that can't grow their own food, that are feeding their people genetic chemicals or foods that are literally weird, and you're allowing that. Like, why would you even trust such people that can't feed their own people organic food? And I've really seen a lot of videos where people say organic food is the most expensive thing, like in America, like it's always junk food, like that is just easy to access. So you want those same people to bring us GMOs and we be under their control? And imagine planting something in an insect that was like naturally built by nature to feed onto that plant, can't do that. Like, why would we allow that to be consumed? Nature is a cycle thing. We eat, others feed on us, we feed on other things. Like, it's a cycle. Why would we want to change that cycle? Why? It's just ridiculous to me. I just can't stand it. Like, really, I just can't. So I really appreciate that Namibia's president, the first lady refused or is refusing to take in these medications that they want to give African women because they want to control our population. And if that is not working, also the GMOs are coming in so that we can still get sick from diseases that we don't understand and still control our population in one way or the other. It's just ridiculous to me. And it's more actually hilarious to me that these people came into our nations and, have done the most. They did the most to our ancestors, still doing the most to us. But as the world, or as we are blessed as a people, Black people, African people, we are still thriving and we are still more than them. So you can see how karma can really come at you. They are doing the most to want to control our population, to want to control our health. But and you see that their women are not fertile enough, they are not producing enough, they are dying every single day, they are old. There's a lot of things. They marry each other as same sex. No offense, but you can imagine, and the fact that they are now pushing kids as young as 14 to have children. Also, I saw people talking about there are people that were pregnant but then died, and then their fetus were made to grow because they are dying to have populations. Because they are dying to have population, it really speaks volumes on who we should trust, where we should stick to, and who is in our favor. I think neglecting our African ways of farming or our African ways of planning in terms of birth or, population is going to be the biggest mistake to hurt us as a people. And we need to stop it now by having leaders that have strength to speak up and fight for their own African people. When we use these things and we are affected, we still have to run back to them to ask for guidance, to ask for medication, and still be in the same cycle. Just like these debts, they print papers and we have to exchange their paper with our resources like gold, copper, cobalt, like coffee. We have the resources and they have a paper. But then still, when it comes to that, we are in debt with them. Still finding it ridiculous that African leaders are still letting this happen. But hey, like I said, now in 2025, we have leaders like Julius Malema, Ibrahim Traore, we have leaders like the president of Namibia, we have leaders like Lumumba, we have leaders now that are rising up in the continent and saying enough is enough. Focus on your population. As your women do not want to give birth and you're trying to use children to give birth, focus on that. Leave us alone. Yeah, what do you think about this? I think it's amazing. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell I'm always posting. I will see you in another video. Bye.